Alright, hello. This is the second time I've tried to do this video. The cat's climbing the walls like I am because it's cold and we can't really leave the house or anything. But I just wanted to ask, are you having trouble forgiving yourself? Are you having trouble with anger or some past situation that still comes in and sneaks in and sits in your car, sits in your head, and you can't let it go? I've been thinking for the past 6 months that some of the things in the recent past that I kept thinking I'm still angry at, I'm not really angry at them anymore. So I started wondering, what exactly is it that I can't seem to quite let go of? And it's not the situation itself. It's me. I am having trouble forgiving myself for not seeing red flags, for not seeing some egotistical, self-centered people that look like they were doing things for other people, but actually were just trying to make themselves look good. Or were trying to make themselves look good and trying to look like they were doing something for other people, but just being stuck in their own egos, being too big for their own britches, and wanting to, or acting like they were doing things for the good of other people when actually they weren't. And there were things that were said along the way over years of a relationship where I kept hearing or seeing red flags and I just ignored them. So now that I've sat back and examined some of that stuff, I'm having trouble forgiving me. I'm having trouble forgiving me for not seeing those red flags, not stopping and looking at them, trying to figure out what they really meant. And folks, I can't stay like this forever. Sometimes when you have trouble letting go, you need to realize that it is okay to say, I made a mistake. It's okay that I didn't see it. What's important is that you eventually saw it and wisened up. That's where wisdom comes in. And sometimes when you make a mistake about people or you misjudge things, situations, people, places, or things, you cannot forever beat yourself up. You have to let go of that. And I don't care if you have to write it down 10,000 times, burn it, throw the ashes to the wind. If you've got to write it down on a candle, literally write it on a candle and burn it down so it burns away. Or if you, write it on a piece of paper and put it underneath a rock to let it disintegrate. I did that once. Or if you write it down, put it in a little bottle or something and throw it into a creek and let the water take it away. Whatever the case may be. Write 1,000 times to yourself, I forgive me, I forgive me, I forgive me. Whatever it is you have to do. I may have to do a couple of those things. I've done some of them, and I'll probably do a few more, because I don't want to hold on to that, not being able to forgive myself. Because that can become a block. That can become a block to not letting yourself grow, not letting yourself become a better person every day. And when you run across those people that you later realize weren't good for you, or weren't the nicest people that you thought that they were, or that job wasn't the best job. I had one of those jobs too. I had one of those jobs where I had a boss that bullied me every day, yelled and screamed at me in front of groups of people, and instead of me saying, excuse you, to a boss and walking away, I stayed at that job for 3 years and put up with the worst BS and let this lady belittle me, talk down to me in front of other people. And I didn't deserve that. I worked twice as hard as some of the other people. I did parts of other people's jobs when I was in the mood to. I didn't do them all the time. I finally quit doing that. That last year at that one job, I decided, you know what? You're too lazy to do it, then I guess it ain't getting done, because I'm not doing it. There was another lady there that still kept doing this other lady's work. I'm not doing it, folks. If this is not my job, if this is your half of the building and this is my half of the building, I'm not going to your half of the building doing half of your shit. I'm just not. You have to stand up for yourself. You have to forgive yourself. You have to let things go. And sometimes for some of us, that's really hard. People with I've been told that people with ADHD tend to hang on to things. I've been told, Leos and Virgos tend to hang on to things. Virgos especially, because we're detail-orientated. I'm Leo, Virgo, cusp. And I don't care what I have to do. I'm at a point where I want to let all this BS go. So I got a couple of things in mind I'm going to try. But I just, nothing's worse than waking up one day and realizing that when you feel foolish, that you fell for some things that, and then you have somebody come to your door and vindicate you about it and say, this was done to me too. But you already knew that, didn't you? That's what I was told. I didn't say nothing. I was just quiet. And me with my big mouth, he went on a whole paragraph of things that he said, and I didn't say a word. Then we had a little conversation. But folks, it's not a matter of I'm right or somebody else was wrong. It's a matter of having enough respect for yourself, having enough wisdom to know, what's that serenity prayer? The things I can't change, the wisdom, the things I can change, and the wisdom to know the difference. I can't change other people. I cannot change other people and ask and think that they're being a better person every day when actually they're not. I have no control over anybody but me. And honestly, my goal is to be a better person every day. And this has been my rant for the past 2 years of saying, I want to do everything for the right reason. I want to help people, but I don't want to be taken advantage of. I want to, I want to have a healthy balance between doing and giving. I just want to do everything for the right reasons. And when you're a giver, just make sure you're giving for the right reasons. Not because for some kind of glory you think you're going to get, or because it makes you look good in front of a bunch of people, or you're on the one situation with the person and the other with the job. Both those people were on power trips. And if you want to be on a power trip in your own little circle, that's fine. But when you start pulling other people into it and it's making you look good and you're making other people feel like shit, if someone's making you feel like shit every day and they're telling you your dreams are on the side or whatever the case may be, there's all kinds of different situations out there. Don't beat yourself up. Walk away and let that crap go. Because I, for one, am tired of feeling bad about things that I have that are now even in the past. And if you tend to hang on to things, let that stuff go. I don't care what you got to do. If you got to write it down, if you got to call your best friend, and I've got 3 other best friends that I call on a regular basis, and they've been listening to me rant about it, and they know I'm having a hard time letting it go. But I want to be a better person every day. So if you miss some red flags from someone, just make a special note of those red flags, but don't keep reliving them. Because when you relive them, it creates a block, and it's hard to move on from it. I will be so glad when this year is over and I can start a new year fresh, that I can start with this new job, that I can actually help people that will appreciate it. I'm on a new path. I'm in a new place. And I don't want to let nothing mar it. I don't want nothing from the past to taint it. So if you want a new start, if you're trying to create a change for yourself, whatever you have to do to let the past go, do it. Write a diary, journal, write it on a candle, let the candle burn down, write it on a piece of paper, put it in a little bottle, throw it in the river, write it down on a little piece of paper and put it underneath a rock for it to disintegrate and return to the earth. Write a letter to yourself that comes back to you, and it opens it up and it says, I forgive you. That's an idea I just had. Thank you, angels. Whatever the case is, don't let anything from your past hold you back, create a block, or make you feel bad because you made a mistake. You're going to make more of them. I'm going to make more mistakes. I'm only human. You have to let things go. So this was just a little short video that I wanted to share some of the things I'm discovering about myself. If you got something out of this, like, subscribe, and share, or just share it with somebody if you know somebody that's having a hard time. Send it to them and say, look, listen to what Lana says. Lana says, let that shit go. So, folks, you deserve to have the happiest life possible. And if you're trying to make a difference and you're trying to make your life better, whether it's for your kids, your grandkids, your parents, your sister, whatever, your neighbor down the street that's closest thing to a grandma that you got, whatever the case may be, don't let something from your past destroy or make your present situation and your future unhappy. Let it go. Keep the lesson. Lose the BS. Lana Scott, Lighthouse.